Good morning, it's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 8:30 a.m. streaming show we do here every day during the work week. We go over our news and weather headlines for the day. We'll start off here with our forecast, and then we'll transition over to some news headlines with Casey and Mitch after a short break. But here's a look at that forecast. Again, we are on alert here through the end of the work week, Monday through Friday. We have those heat index values reaching the triple digits, so somewhere between 100 to 107 is where we're expecting those peak heat index values to reach each day this week. So that heat advisory, which was originally set to expire at around 7 p.m. Tuesday, has been extended through the end of the day on Friday. And it's not just us, folks. All of us across the Midwest, the Ohio River Valley, and even into the East Coast and New England, we're all under some sort of heat advisory or heat alert for the rest of this week. So this massive heat wave kind of gripping at least the eastern half of the nation here. But looking at our current temperatures across the region, we've already cracked 80 degrees in most locations. 83 here in Evansville, 82 down towards Paducah, already in the mid 80s off to our west in St. Louis. So it is just going to continue to get hot, especially with that sun now beginning to shine. We have dew points already still elevated into the mid 70s. So as you step outside, it just feels like hot breath out the door. So it is very, very hard to actually get a breath of fresh air in this kind of heat and humidity. So that's why we recommend you're taking frequent breaks in the air conditioning and making sure you're constantly drinking water. But looking at our feels like temperatures, again, now that we're starting to warm up, we're already seeing places like Mount Carmel feeling like they're in the lower 90s, and it's 8:30 in the morning. It almost feels like it's 90 degrees here in Evansville and Henderson. But here's a look at our current satellite and radar. So we have this area of high pressure that's kind of anchored just off to our east. And not only is that going to be pumping in winds out of the south, that's going to be more warm and moist, but it's also acting as a shield. So we're not really seeing any huge weather changes in the pattern here because of this area of high pressure. This cold front, unfortunately, is going to get blocked, so we don't get any relief from that either. But we do have that slight chance of an isolated shower or a downpour as we get into this afternoon, but it will be few and far between. You'll have to consider yourself one of the lucky ones if you see one. But right now, we're all dry out there. No issues with your morning commute other than it just being downright hot already. But we'll continue to warm up into the mid-90s as we get into this afternoon. Winds will be out of the south-southwest between 3 to 4 miles per hour. And then as we get into tonight, we barely even see some relief even as we turn into the nighttime. We only drop down into the mid 70s, but with the dew points still hanging out in the 70s, it still feels warm and it doesn't really feel refreshing even after the sun sets. So this kind of heat has a cumulative effect on the body, which is why we're stressing that potential for heat-related illnesses, and that's why we want to take it seriously as we go through our day. But here's a look at our heat index forecast hour by hour. So we'll feel like the 90s through the morning, but it's not until we get into this afternoon that we start to peak in those triple digits. So peaking maybe around 104, 105 this afternoon for those feels likes. And timing out the potential for that isolated shower or downpour, it really is just going to be with the heating of the day. So the hottest time of the day is where we're expecting that chance for a shower or storm to develop. And again, it's not widespread by any means, so it's going to be very, very isolated. And again, it probably will only provide a few minutes of relief as they kind of pop up. They storm for about 20-30 minutes and then they'll fall back down. But because they're also diurnally driven, once the sun sets, those showers and storms will also begin to dissipate. So looking at our highs for the next 7 days here, remaining well above average. Our average high for this time of year is actually around 88 degrees. Our average low is in the upper 60s. So you can see we're well above that for both of our highs and lows. We are topping out in the 90s through the end of this week, and hopefully we'll start to crash back down a little bit into the lower 90s, upper 80s as we get into this weekend, where we have better chances for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. But overall, looking at the pattern for the next 7 days, it doesn't look like anything major is heading down the pipeline here other than that big heat wave. So Combining those 90-degree temperatures with those dew points up into the 70s, that is going to be stifling, which is why we're looking at heat index values remaining in the triple digits here through the end of this week. So every single day here is kind of like a rinse and repeat: hot, humid, sunshine, and perhaps if you're lucky, you'll get an isolated shower in the heating of the day. But we also want to go over recognizing some heat illnesses. It's important to understand what kind of symptoms you're feeling so that you know how to treat yourself properly in the event you are becoming either exhausted from the heat or suffering from heat stroke. So I want to take this full screen so you guys can get a better look at it. Heat exhaustion, oftentimes you'll start to feel faint or dizzy, whereas with heat stroke, you'll end up getting a throbbing headache. And in terms of heat exhaustion, you'll oftentimes experience some excessive sweating, whereas heat stroke, oddly enough, you don't experience sweating at all. For heat exhaustion, cool, pale, clammy skin is a telltale sign. Red hot, dry skin for heat stroke. And nausea and vomiting is a common symptom for both heat stroke and heat exhaustion. A rapid, weak pulse is what you can expect with heat exhaustion. Rapid, strong pulse with heat stroke. So muscle cramps, and you may lose consciousness. So understanding those symptoms and the differences of them is going to be important there, especially with elderly folks and young children. You want to be keeping a close eye on them and making sure that everyone is properly cooled and hydrated. Now, if you do think you are suffering from heat stroke, you want to call 911 and you want to take immediate action to cool that person until help arrives. And if you are experiencing heat exhaustion, it's a good time to just get indoors to an air-conditioned place, drink water if you're fully conscious, and take a cool shower and put cool compresses. The best places to put those cool compresses is going to be on your neck and on your wrists, because that's where your skin is actually the thinnest. So if you can actually cool your blood down first, that'll also have an entire cooling effect on your entire body. So those are just some little tips and tricks there. And then, of course, we want to make sure not only are we keeping ourselves safe as humans, but we want to make sure our pets and animals are also safe as well. Now, we don't want to walk them in the middle of the day, especially in the hottest part of the day. If you're going to take your animals out for a walk, do it early in the morning or later at night. You don't want to shave long-haired dogs. You want to trim them. You don't ever want to leave pets in a parked car, and you don't ever want to walk in the pavement because, unfortunately, their paw pads can get burned if the pavement is too hot, and you don't want to rely on a fan to cool your pet down. What you do want to do is provide clean, cool, fresh water constantly, especially if the dogs or animals are outside. You really shouldn't have them outside longer than you are either. You also want to provide shade, but not a doghouse. You don't want it to be enclosed to where it holds all that heat. And if you want to keep their paws cool, just keep them wet. Put cool compresses on their paws as well. That will help them out. Now, some dogs and animals that are at a higher risk are short-nosed breeds, long-haired breeds, animals that are very young, so less than a year, or elderly, which is 7+. So just keeping an eye on all of your important people and all your important animals, making sure we're staying cool and refreshed out there. Otherwise, we can just enjoy these summer-like temperatures. Going to the pool, going to the lake, going outside are all things that we're still going to be doing here. We just got to make sure we're taking the proper precautions to protect ourselves from that heat. Now, looking at our storm chances, we do have that isolated risk in the afternoon today and tomorrow, less so on Wednesday and Thursday, but it is still possible. However, better chances arrive as we get into next weekend. But here's a look at your 7-day forecast there. Again, we're going to be looking at alerts in effect through Saturday. I actually have the wrong 7-day pulled up here, so let me go ahead and fix that for you. But again, they'll run from today through Friday evening. Hopefully, it doesn't look like they'll get extended because those showers and storms moving in for Saturday and Sunday look like they'll cool us down enough to where we won't meet that heat advisory criteria. But that's all I've got for the forecast. I'm going to go take a quick look at the comments to see what you guys are saying. Looks like Leah says, be prepared, people. I agree. Again, drinking plenty of water and staying cool is the best thing you can do. Weather with Sim says, good morning. And they say that Michelle says that there is a power outage on the north side of Henderson, maybe due to the heat, who knows, but thanks for that report. I don't see any other questions or comments on the Facebook stream here, so I'm going to hop off and we'll be done with the forecast here, but you don't want to go anywhere yet. We have Mitch and Casey. They're going to bring us the latest news headlines for the day.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is June 23rd. I'm Mitch Carter.
That's right. I'm Casey Mason. Happy Monday to you. We are so sorry it's Monday, but hey, you know what? Another work week must begin. So, some people have schedules where this is their Friday. So, shout out to you. We used to work those schedules. Weekend warriors out there. Oh, it is a hot one, as Michael just recapped. I mean, it's that's kind of the name of the game on the morning news. That's what we talked about a lot, and of course, that'll be kind of the headline throughout the day. But you know the drill. We're going to bring you some top stories from this morning, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's do it. Our first one here, of course, as we talked about it all morning here, and Michael just touched on it great there. We're facing hazardous heat all week long. We do want to remind you on how to stay up to date with that, especially during a week of alert days here. I'll pull that font down so you can see the full QR code there. You can download, by scanning that, the free 14 First Alert weather app. We show this all morning long here. And if you're watching on your phone right now and can't scan the code, not a big deal. You can also always search 14 First Alert in your app store. It's free to download. And, of course, we'll have our 14 First Alert meteorologists covering this heat all day long. Their indices, as Michael just said there, in the triple digits for a lot of our days here in a row. Of course, we're on alert Monday through Friday, Casey. No secret, it's going to be hot.
Yes. I saw a headline that said, hazardous, which really is true if you're out there. Just, again, reminder to be safe. If you got pets, children outside playing, just keep an eye on everyone and just, enjoy the weather if you want, but also be careful out there as well. Just a reminder to try and stay cool.
Right.
Take this seriously.
No doubt.
Well, I tell you what, let's go from weather to sports now because we've got to talk about this as much as we don't want to. We're talking NBA Files. Mitch, go ahead and take this one. You need our resident
of course.
sports guy.
Unfortunately, it is a party in Oklahoma City, not Indianapolis, after the Thunder won Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Pacers, of course, started off pretty strong and kept the game there within 5 points for the first half, but the Thunder went on a 19-2 run in the third, and the Pacers also, of course, if you watched the game at all or have seen the highlights, you know it, started suffering after Tyrese Halliburton had that game-ending leg injury. Thunder going on to win it 103-91, of course, to the chagrin of all of us Hoosiers here, but congratulations to them, of course. It was a very exciting final, 7 games there, and happy to see Indiana have the run that they had. Definitely not discounting what a great season that was.
That's right. It's been exciting to keep up on this. I mean, of course, not the ending we had hoped for all the Pacers fans out there, but again, you'd be proud of how far they went
Absolutely.
this year. It brought a lot of excitement right here to the Tri-State and, of course, the entire state.
We love talking about it here in the morning,
Yeah.
so it was lots of fun for us the last couple weeks here. So we'll take that. It was lots of fun. And, of course, once again, congrats to them going that far. Is no small feat, so very, very cool.
Well said, well said. And, of course, speaking of exciting news, we have something very exciting to talk about. You guys ready for this? Let's go ahead and click up the video here. I'm sure you're going to hear some sound in the background of this sweet girl from this exciting moment. My goodness. Take a look. That's right. Some news about one of our very own. We love her so much. Over the weekend, 14 News evening anchor Jamie French, as you guessed, she said yes. Jamie's boyfriend Clayton popped the question while celebrating their 8-year anniversary. Jamie shared some of these pictures you're seeing here in that video from a post on her social media, and she said that she has dreamt of marrying Clayton since she was 16 years old. Jamie says they are building their future home in Seabury, and they hope to get married sometime next summer. Of course, course, Mitch, I know you and her, dear friends from the morning show together, and we're just so happy.
I know. And I've gotten to know Clayton a little bit, her fiance now, no longer boyfriend, and both just great people. Couldn't have happened to better people, and so I'm happy for them, happy for their families. I know she has probably dreamt of saying yes and kind of walked through what she would say for a long time in her head, so I'm happy for both of them, obviously. Looking forward to their wedding, and of course, like you mentioned, they're building their house now in Seabury, so a lot of changes going on. Happy for them.
We are absolutely thrilled for her. We cannot quite put into words. You know, we are coworkers out here, but you really become close. We're like a family here at 14. So from our families to yours, Jamie and Clayton, we just want to wish you all the best. We're so excited. I can't wait to see that ring here in a couple hours when she gets to the station.
Yeah.
So
it's funny too. Like it looked. If you want to pull the video back up, it looked so beautiful. Clayton, you crushed it, buddy. The ring's great. The setup is awesome. You can see kind of the sunset in there. And you know, I tell you what, I don't know to go into too much detail here, but he crushed my proposal. We talked about it before, Casey, and laughed about it.
Yes, we did.
So
let's talk about our proposal.
Yeah, right. Let's take the light
today.
for ourselves here while we're waiting on comments to come in. It was my wife and I started dating. I asked her out on the riverfront in Evansville. Mm-hmm. She's from here, and I'm from DuBois County. And I had this grandiose idea. One of our former coworkers here, Monica Watkins, does photography on the side, and she had shot some photos of us before. And so I was like, I got it. I'll set up a photo shoot on the riverfront where I asked her out. Sweet sunrise, awesome, gonna look like that. Sunrise is in the east. We were facing west, so it was raining. It was December. It was freezing out, and
Michael's cracking up. Right
yeah,
now.
I missed a very crucial detail in that, and then it was fine. It was happy, and it all worked out. Obviously, we're married now, and she didn't. She said yes, so we're good.
She did.
But
how many weeks have you been married now?
Ooh.
We're going on let's see. My first week was about 5-6 weeks ago.
So it's been like
it's been at least 2.5 months or so.
Almost,
for you.
2.5 months. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Flying by.
And you know what? She said yes regardless.
That's all that matters.
There's a lot of pressure on you fellas these days, or anyone out there popping the question. It really is. It's a lot of pressure because of social media. I feel like you know, make sure our nails are done perfect, us gals, and
it's a whole thing.
But you did good. I
think
Claire approved. So
Appreciate
your
it.
wedding
Thank
looked
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's see over to my engagement now. My husband Will and I, we've been together now 12 years, and we were similar to Jamie and Clayton. We had dated a while. We waited about 8 years to get engaged, and bless his heart, the man couldn't even properly kneel. He had severed his Achilles tendon in his heel, and so he was in a boot, and he did his best. Though we were sitting at home, and remember we were taking Christmas card photos, or at least I thought that. And he said, of course, me not being a good listener, I did not do what I was told, and he still jokes about it to this day. We were setting up the tripod to take like a selfie mode photo, and he said, zoom out for this next one, and I was like, no, we're gonna zoom in. I like it better. So I cut off his head in the photo. He had to like do a shimmy and turn to propose to me, but since he couldn't kneel, he did his best. And you know what? I said yes too. So
there you
love
go.
him so
It all worked
much.
out.
Love is in the air. What can we say?
So far, Clayton and Jamie, you guys are on a better course than myself and Casey were, and so I'll only up from here as well.
Right.
Like I said, so excited for you guys. Obviously, we got to know Jamie, and for those who were kind of longtime Sunrise viewers, obviously she's the evening anchor now, but for many years there, worked Sunrise with myself and then Tanner Holbrook, and just did a great job, and just such a genuinely nice person.
Oh, she is an angel on earth. I remember the first time I met her, I was like, you are too good to be true. It's great to get to know her, watching, but again, to get to meet people in person. So that's kind of what we're doing here. We share our little personal stories of our own engagements and kind of chit chat towards the end of each of these streaming episodes to give you guys a chance to get to know us better. And of course, we want to remind you guys aren't doing a very good job today. Go ahead and comment. We want to talk to you. Maybe later this week, we'll talk about some tips on how to stay cool, keep your house cool, keep yourself cool, because we are struggling in that department right now. My poor little house air conditioning is trying to keep up with this heat right now. That's for sure.
Doing a number on the HVAC right now. But kind of coming full circle here, we talked about that. Obviously, Michael Fecka joining us all week here and filling in for Byron Douglas. So did a great job there talking about the heat. And just as a reminder for all you guys out there, it's not a secret. You go outside, it's hot, but it really is so important to keep yourself kind of on edge and keep an eye out for signs of heat exhaustion, heat stroke. Do those things. Drink the water. Do all that you got to do. Stay in shade if you can. I know we do cooling centers here in Evansville. The mall, the library. If your house is too hot, don't be afraid. Go somewhere with AC. Get out of that kind of oppressive heat and keep yourselves safe, right? We want to talk to you guys, continue to have you viewers. So please stay safe and, try to beat the heat if you can.
Yeah, well said. I won't add to that. That was perfectly said, Mitch. I tell you what, Jamie, Rob, believe they'll be back with Arden around 2:30 for another streaming show for you guys. I think we're kind of getting the hang of this thing.
Something like that. Yeah, once again, it's our CTV room, so everything you're seeing is just us. So anytime you see issues, sorry, we're doing our best.
Yeah, we really are. Thanks for sticking in there with us, guys. We appreciate it. Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we head out?
I think we're good to go. I think once again here, just stay safe out there, and we'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow at 8:30.
Right. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. All right.